Okay, hello, ceramic students. So this next week, we're going to shift materials again and get away from just working with clay and start working with something else. So this week, we're going to focus on one of the elements that we use as sculptors um, to define imagery, and that would be line. Now, clay doesn't really lend itself to working with line. You can draw on the surface of clay and create things that look like lines. But to actually work with something that physically looks like a line, we have to go to a different material. So what I've got is I've got some wire for you guys. Everybody's going to get 6 feet of wire to work with, this very bendable um, aluminum wire. Then we have some other kind of wires that you could work with, and we'll talk about some possibilities in class. But I wanted to show you one way that we could start developing some imagery here today. So I've got 6 feet of wire, and I've got some needle nose pliers. I've got some tape that I just taped an image down on my desk. You're going to get a wood block. That's a piece of 2x4 that you can use as a base for your piece. But you can get creative, and I might do that with this one. So I actually have this stick that I've brought in that I think would be like a cool addition as a base, since my imagery for this one today is going to be a deer. I've also got some Scotch tape. That's going to help me kind of keep track of things. So what I've done is I've taped my image onto the table, and I printed it 8 by 10, but fairly large. I don't want this to be too small because it's going to be hard for me to get any detail with the wire if I work too small. So try to fill up that page. And then I'm going to think before I begin. Each time I start making a wire, I want to think about where that wire is going to begin and where it's going to end. If you can imagine this block being the base that sits on the table, I want to have enough wire so that I can start in that block. And then I want to go around my image and have that wire also end in the block so that the block actually holds up the wire. So I don't want to end somewhere up in the air by the tail or something like that. I want to keep going around until I get to a point where I'm on there. He's got 4 legs, right? So I could do one wire that goes up and does one leg and the back leg, and then another wire that goes up again and does the other 2 legs. So I think I'm going to try to do this out of 2 pieces of wire. And the way we start is by giving ourselves a little extra. And then what I want to do is I'm going to take my wire and I'm going to kind of carefully tape down that wire as I bend it this way and that way around this deer. So it's like I'm tracing it, and it bends pretty easily, and it holds its bend pretty easily too. But as you can see, as soon as I let go, it kind of shifts. So every once in a while, I got to stop and use another piece of tape to hold it. If I want to make a sharp turn somewhere, then I might have to use these needle nose pliers, and I can hold on to it and bend it using 2 to make quicker changes in directions. Although I find that for the most part, I'm okay just using like my fingertips and my nails, and I can get pretty close and accurate things. So I'm at a point here where, again, I'm going to want to stop and tape and then start making a sharper transition to do some of these antlers. I'm going to skip that antler, come back and do this one. And I'm going to continue going around until I get all the way to this hind leg, and then I'm going to leave myself a little extra. So I'm going to take a break here and let you guys do whatever you want, and then we'll come back and edit in the finished part.